Montreal police are investigating an anti-Semitic symbol spray painted on a synagogue over the weekend. Rabbi Lisa Grushkow says a swastika was found on the side of her temple on Saturday. Montreal's mayor called the vandalism an anti-Semitic attack. And in a Facebook video, Grushkow urged people to speak up against anti-Semitism and said public silence can be as disturbing as acts of hate.
I'm Rabbi Lisa Grushkow from Temple Emmanuel Beth Shalom here in Montreal. This past Shabbat, our synagogue was the latest target of anti-Semitic hate, with a swastika spray painted on the side of our building. Now, this is our holy space, where we come to pray, to build community, for our children to learn and to play and to grow, where we cook food for the hungry, where we do our bit to make a better world. This is a place where we try and open doors and build bridges. We love it here. Now here's the thing. With how the world is right now, it was a matter more of when rather than if something like this would happen. We all know that anti-Semitism is skyrocketing in our city and around the world, highest levels of government, in our schools and on our streets. But for some of us, what's just as disturbing as these acts of anti-Semitism is the silence of our friends. So if you want to do something and you don't know what, here are a few suggestions. 1, reach out to your Jewish friends. It may seem like a small thing, but it's not. Hate works to isolate people, and you can help act against that isolation. 2, educate yourself. Go to a local Holocaust museum. Learn about how long and how deep the history of anti-Semitism is and why hateful words and symbols matter so much. We don't love this history either, but ignoring it doesn't make it go away.
Eta Yudin from the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs joined us for more on the rise of anti-Semitism in Canada.
Long before October 7th, we were seeing a worrisome rise in anti-Semitism around the world, but it skyrocketed everywhere after October 7th. I think it's important to note that we saw the incidents of anti-Semitism and attacks on the Jewish community before there was any kind of follow-up to the October 7th massacre by Hamas of innocent civilians in Israel. That being said, for the last 15 months, we've been talking about the importance and the need for leadership, political leadership at all levels, and security officials to take concrete action to stop what we're seeing in the streets and on our campuses, which is a really worrisome number of anti-Semitic incidents. If you look at Montreal, for example, we've had schools shot at, we have had community centers being hit with Molotov cocktails, and we've had a huge increase in the number of incidents in our city. And I can tell you, even just in terms of the incidents happening, for example, in our public schools and in the streets. So we are concerned. And I would love to say that I was surprised to see a swastika on a synagogue. But frankly, in the current climate, in the current context, when we're seeing a lack of deterrence, a lack of strong action against the kind of hate that is being fueled daily in our streets and on our campuses, we weren't surprised. We were certainly comforted by the strong messages of support. And if you look at the message from Rabbi Grushkow, whose synagogue was the one targeted, she called out for allies to raise their voices, for people to check in on the Jewish community, and for people to stand up against hate. And I think that's a strong message and something that people need to hear. And we would like to hear more from fellow Canadians who are equally concerned about the rise of hatred that we're seeing in our streets.